These are gently sloping areas of the ocean basin. These are the flattest and the smoothest regions of the world. The depth varies between 3,000 and 6.
How we'll go about counting, the indentation implies that it's line 3 that will repeat. So what the pseudocode is saying is that after starting at 0, for each person in the room, we'll increase n by 1.
Einstein is saying that there is a difference between gravity and the other forces of nature, okay? In Newtonian physics, what you would have said is that gravity is a force that lives on top of space-time.
We'll learn some basic definitions and concepts when we deal with parasites. So for our learning objectives, at the end of this lesson, you're all expected to identify and categorize various.
Planet Earth is the home of every life form known to us in the universe. Its age is about 1/3 of the age of the universe, and, admit it, it is a thing of beauty.
Turn it on and somehow it starts rotating. Why is that? In this video, we'll cover the basics of electricity and magnets, and then put it all together to understand how the motor works.
Okay, so what are those male and female parts of the flower? Male parts are called stamens, and that's pretty easy to remember because they are men.
The larynx. But it doesn't go straight to the larynx, it goes right down into the chest, and then loops round an artery in the chest, and then comes straight back up again to the larynx.
About a particle, say like an electron. It turns out that has a characteristic called spin. You can think of it almost like a top that's spinning around. And roughly speaking, using classical language, just to get a feel for it, if the spin...
So, I'm using this first chip for these 3 NAND gates, and the second one for these 2. I probably could have set things up to use just one chip, but...
Why some parts of the world are very dry, while others are very wet.
It all starts with the sun. That's what's driving the weather.
But Francis Bacon, born in London in 1561, is more of like a historical surprise. For one, he was cast out of public office for taking bribes. Two, some people for some reason think he was Shakespeare.
Yeah, I think so. Looking like it. Oh, yeah. This is usually the indication to me. Is this growth on here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a piece of bone. It's definitely a piece of bone.
This statement is false. Is that true? If so, that would make this statement false. But if it's false, then the statement is true. By referring to itself directly, this statement creates an unresolved...
Ecology is the branch of biology that studies these relationships and tries to make sense of them. To be able to understand and discuss ecosystems, you need to know the key vocabulary.
As important as dragonfly morphology is to its enduring success as a species, its behavior and life cycles are equally crucial. Not only do dragonflies dominate the skies...
To describe the solid state using computer code, you would need to include terms that describe the geometry of the lattice, the intermolecular distances, the precise configuration.
The nucleus contains DNA, or genetic material. DNA dictates what the cell is going to do and how it's going to do it.
An observer can only see the interior of a black hole after an infinite amount of time. But even if it was somehow possible to speed up this process, we still wouldn't be able to penetrate a black hole.
Higher adaptive and an innate overview. And again, I get a prize if I do this under 20 minutes. So we're definitely gonna try to make this kind of quick. Good overview here. So again, starting with innate immune system, right? With the innate.